No matter how many times you watch Star Wars, there's always something new to notice, like this blink and you'll miss it rookie mistake that Sir Alec Guinness made when filming the original movie. Despite never quite understanding the script, Sir Alec Guinness always brought his A-game to his acting. But Star Wars being Star Wars, there were always problems looming, sometimes in the strangest of places. Like the blast doors leading to the control room that our heroes have just conquered on the Death Star. In the script, the doors were supposed to, quote, fly open, and the filmmakers used a pulley system to try to make the plywood door swiftly rise up, but even the strongest crew members couldn't hoist it quick enough for George Lucas. So to solve this problem, they used a cinematic trick that it already used a few times. When R2-D2 is whooshed up into the Jawa sandcrawler, George Lucas actually filmed good old R2 being dropped from the sandcrawler, and then he reversed the footage in the editing room. The same trick was used in the trash compactor scene to make the Dianoga appear to wrap its tentacle around Luke's leg. The tentacle was actually attached to a piece of wire that Mark Hamill pulled tight and held, and then released. Playing the footage backwards gave the appearance of Luke being attacked. It's these fun tricks that modern cinema just doesn't rely on much anymore. But in a way I kind of get it, because doing things like reversing footage can also lead to some weird problems, which is exactly what happened when George tried a similar trick for the blast door. To try and make it look like the doors were flying up, the crew decided to start by having the door already hoisted up, and then letting it fall and have gravity do the heavy work to make it move quickly. But the problem was that Obi-Wan needed to be opening the door, not closing the door. So their solution was actually pretty ingenious. This kind of makes my brain hurt, so I think I'd better illustrate this with Legos. George called action, Mark and Alec said their lines, Alec pressed the button, and then George called out freeze. Then came the tricky part. The actors had to maintain their positions perfectly while the crew hoisted the door up and then let it fall again. Then they pulled the door up again, and only then could the actors move again and continue with their scene. When it came time to edit the scene, during the bit where the actors were frozen, George Lucas had to cut out the bit where the door was being pulled up. Then he had to keep the part where the door falls, but they had to reverse just that part of the shot to make it look like the door actually flew open. And then they had to cut out the bit where the door was actually pulled open again to make it seem like the door had opened and stayed open. Crazy. But there was another problem. There's always another problem. That part where they used gravity to make the door fall shut, and then they reversed it, the door still didn't close or open quite fast enough for George Lucas, who was always asking for faster and more intense. So the yet another ingenious solution was to cut every other frame out of the door opening to make it seem like the door was closing even faster. This worked perfectly, until of course it didn't, and the editors noticed that Sir Alec Guinness had made a mistake. I want to see if you can catch it. There, did you catch it? One more time, watch Obi-Wan's eyes. His eyes do this weird thing where they go from looking downward to looking slightly up. What happened? And why did it happen? During the time that Sir Alec Guinness and Mark Hamill were frozen, Alec Guinness blinked. One of the greatest actors in the world stayed only mostly frozen, and then quickly opened and shut his eyes. And of course, the blink came from the part of the frozen shot that was used when the door was moving behind them, so they had to keep it. So when every other frame was chopped out to make the door move faster, we lost half a blink from a Knight of the Realm himself. Amateur. I'm kidding. But still, George Lucas didn't have the budget to go back and reshoot the shot, so the only option was to make the door open less faster and more intense, which honestly would have made the blink even more apparent. Or you could bet on no one noticing. Most directors don't have the guts to bet on no one noticing, because let's be honest, the blink wasn't all that controversial. I don't love drama for its own sake. Like, not like movie drama, but the drama that goes on, you know what I mean. But if you want to hear another story about Sir Alec Guinness filming Star Wars that has caused, quote, great controversy on this channel, this short video might interest you. The comments on that one are a wild time. But until next time, get offline and go create something epic.